Hey guys, so this is part of the ATI's video series. We're going to be talking about the math section. So I've recorded this video a couple times in a couple different days. So I was trying to figure out the best way to do it, and I was like doing problems on the board and stuff and like trying to explain it. And then I realized like there's just way too much information for me to do it that way. And there are a lot of resources online that I will link below that goes over the different sections in depth. But I am just going to review the sections that you need to know and how you can learn those things if you don't know them yet. Because I think that this will be the most effective way to say all the information that I need to say in the video. So the first section of the math is on numbers and operations. So you want to know like integers, rational numbers, irrational numbers, what's a real number, what's a prime number. These are more so the basic concepts of numbers that you probably know, and if you don't know, you can look up what a prime number is, and you can have those. And I went over in a past video, I don't think I have it, oh, I don't have it anymore, but I went over in the past video how I had one of these that was my science notebook, and I didn't make one for math because math is what I'm strongest in, but I would say if math is your weak point, get yourself like a notebook like this and go through it. So anything that you don't know, I'm just reading from this book, but you can use this book or the other ATI's book, and start at the numbers and operations section and just read through it. A natural number is, okay, I know that. A whole number is, okay, I know that. An integer, oh, I know that one, but I don't know what a prime number is. Okay, so we look up prime number and then we write in the notebook, prime numbers are, and then write what those are. So like 1, 3, and you can write them out. And go through like that for the numbers and operations section. Okay, so then, and then there's different sections within the numbers and operations section. So then the next section is like scientific notation. And it's talking about what that is. And if you know what that is, then you just skip it. And if you don't know what it is, you write in your little notebook, scientific notation, and you write what it is. Basically, these concepts in the numbers and operations section are pretty simple. You guys will totally be able to understand this section, no problem. You could probably master the whole thing if you've never even heard of it in an hour. So don't, get too caught up in it, I guess. A lot of these you should know. Order of operations, you're going to do like there's that thing, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, right? And that breaks down the orders of operations, but it also talks about that in here as well. So same thing. If you know it, move past it. If you don't know it, put it in your little notebook. Okay. Then also in the numbers and operations section, you're going to have decimals and fractions. So again, to me, this is pretty basic stuff. I would say most of you guys know this, but if you don't know this, don't get down on yourself. You can know this, you can learn this. We all come from different backgrounds, we all come from different schooling, and but these things, decimals and fractions, they're very simple to learn. You can look up some videos online. Again, I'll link some below, and you can learn them very easily. And again, you just write decimals and fractions, and you write what they are, and you go through it. So yeah, this goes into decimals and fractions, and move past that. We talk about ratios, rounding estimates, proportions, all of those things. Same thing. The thing that is nice about this book, I'm not sure in the ATI Teas book that the testing company makes, I don't have it on me right this second, but this book is nice because each section or each concept within the numbers and operations section has a title like this. So that's what you can know that you have to know. I have to know ratios. If I don't know what a ratio is, that's when I break it down in my math Teas notebook. And then this is good too because when you go back and study, then you don't have to look at this book again. I mean, unless you're doing practice problems, you can just go straight to this and be like, oh, I know what a ratio is. Oh, I know what this is. And that way it kind of weeds out like all the extra wording and extra things that are in here. Okay, so there's percentages, same thing. All right, so now we're on to the algebra section. So a lot of you may feel that there were only a few concepts in the numbers and operations section, but when you look at the book, it's like this many pages, which is like, it's a lot, you know? So that's why it's good to have like a math composition book to write down those things in, because it might only be 3 concepts. It might not be 20 pages of material. So then once you do that, we move past that. Now we're on the algebra section. This is where it's going to get a little trickier, because these are things that require understanding of different steps. So not only do you have to understand the order of operations that we talked about in the numbers and operations section, you have to understand how to break down the problem mathematically on top of that. So we're compounding different concepts. So it's a little more in depth. However, you can learn it. The thing I love about math, now people, I know a lot of you are like, I hate math, I hate math, I hate math. But the thing I love about math is it's black and white. If you do it correctly, if you understand the steps, you will get the question right. You will. There's no trick answer. There's no, it is what it is. And the thing that's nice about the T's is they don't trick you. It's, do you understand the concept or do you not? But that is the nice thing about math, and that's why I like math, is you can get 100 in math. Easy. You don't need to know the science when you need to know what's going on where, and if this changes and that changes. You don't need to know that. All you need to know is the concepts, and you will get an A, okay? Just understand the concept. So you just work through the book. You work through it at your own pace. You can do 3 pages at a time, and guess what? You'll get through it. Just, the thing that's nice is we have YouTube available to us, and we have all of these amazing people that break down all the different concepts. So moving on, we're in the algebra section. So it gives you some practice problems at the beginning. You can try those and see how well you do. So again, these sections are broken down into topics, right? So we start with operations with expressions. So this is, when there's x, y, and z. So 2x plus 3xy minus 2z equals 6y plus 2yx. Yep, that's it. So there's all these variables, right? So I'm trying to think of the best thing to do for this. So a lot of these are understanding the concepts, okay? So the best thing to do is if you look at the practice problem for that section and try to do it. And if you can't do it, then go on YouTube and type in operations with expressions, adding and subtracting, and they will break down how to do it. Another part of operations with expressions is distributing and factoring. So you have 5x in parentheses, x squared minus 2c plus 10 in parentheses. And you look at that and you're like, wow, that's really tough. There's a lot of letters in there. I don't know what's going on. I'm confused. But the concept is simple if you understand it. So that's why looking up the YouTube videos and understand the process, you can get it. So when it's like this, it is just distributing. So all of these things in the parentheses have to also have a 5x in front of them. It's distributing out, right? So if you understand that by watching another video and learning it, the answer is 5x cubed minus 10xc plus 50x. That's the answer. So when you look at that, it's really confusing. But when you think about it as, oh, this number just has to distribute to this, to all 3 of these numbers in the parentheses, it's very simple. It's just matching up the letters and numbers. But you have to understand, again, those concepts. So that's why I said, go to YouTube and figure out, what you don't know, and then go through and write it in your T's math composition book. So same thing, the next one is linear equations. If you don't know what those are, YouTube linear equations, then graphing them. And then we move into the geometry and measurement section. And this is actually the last math section. Woohoo! So, you know, same thing. This is talking about knowing units of measurements. I wouldn't go too crazy with knowing all the units of measurement. For example, how many pounds are in a gram. Like, you don't need to know that, honestly. On the T's, they actually, if they asked you a question like that, they would give you the conversion rate. The things that you need to know are definitely, like, King Henry doesn't mind drinking cold milk, which stands for, like, if you have like a meter and a kilometer, what the conversion rate on that is. How many times to the 1,000 is a, you know, kilometer to meter. So those you should know. But again, if you understand the King Henry doesn't mind drinking cold milk, that will be very easy for you to kind of break down. If you don't know that, then Google it and write it in your T's math book. So yeah, I mean, honestly, like, this says no, like an inch equals 2.54 centimeters. Like, I studied all of these. You don't need to know them. They give you the conversion rates. Like, they literally give them to you. So, I don't want anyone to comment on this and be like, they didn't give me the conversion rate. So, they didn't give me the they did give me the conversion rate. I should say that. All right, so then we go into geometric figures, knowing a line, a ray, a line segment, a right angle, an obtuse angle, a perpendicular line, a parallel line. Review them. I didn't have them on my exam. However, I would definitely understand what a right angle is, and having like that little square in the middle shows that it's 90 degrees, because that might help you. Okay. Now, this is important. Calculating geometric quantities, okay? So, finding the area and the perimeter of certain shapes and being able to identify if something is shaded within that shape, what the area and perimeter of that is, okay? So, these you should know. That's all I'm going to say with that. I mean, there's some figures, right? And then how to find the areas and the perimeters. Know those, but know the basic ones. Know how to find the area perimeter of a circle. Know how to find the area and the perimeter of a triangle, of a square, of a rectangle, and be able to know, star this because I'm giving away a question, the sector of a circle. That was the trick one on the test for me. I was like, that kind of almost threw me for a loop. Like, I was just like, holy shit, like, I need to, excuse my language, I need to know this. Oh my God. And I ended up doing it, but I was like, oh my God. And I could only imagine if you got that as your first question, you would probably panic. So that's this. Know how to identify this shaded region in there. Okay, so moving past that. And again, if you don't know how to do these things, Google how to find a sector of a circle, and it's going to show you, and you're going to write it in your book. And then guess what? You're going to go back and study it. And then you're going to do the practice questions. We'll get into all that after. All right. So again, going through data presentation, understanding statistics, same thing. And that's most of it in that section. So now we just went through, right? Let's say you went through, you watched the YouTube videos of things you didn't know, you wrote them in your notebook. Now what you want to do is go back through, look at the notebook until you feel like pretty comfortable with the information that's in there. Then you're going to go in and you're going to do the practice math problems, whether they're in your T's book, whether they're in this book, whether they're in, I got another book of practice questions. You want to do the math section specifically, and you want to see what you score on it, right? You want to see what did you get wrong, what sections do you still need to focus on, and then you want to go back, rewatch, or find a new video for those sections. But I mean, at that point, you should be doing fairly well on the math. There should only be And if you're not doing good, guess what? Keep moving forward. You got this. Keep watching videos, keep taking notes. You will get an A. You will do well if you put in the time and the effort and you apply yourselves to understanding these concepts. You can do it. So once you do that, I would say, go on, do the other sections, and then start taking the practice exams. And you're going to be able to kind of see, where you're lacking, where you need to study more. And I'm telling you guys, you can do well on this exam if you study effectively. That's the biggest thing. I feel like I had to learn how to study, and it's really difficult because it can be very discouraging when you're studying so much, but it's not effective, and you're looking at it like, oh, I'm just dumb, or oh, I'm just this, like, I can't understand this, because you're like, I put in 10s, 20, 30 hours, and I still don't understand. It's like, it's me, it's not you, it's the way you're studying. So you need to find what type, and I know I talked about this in my other video, but what type of learner you are, and you need to apply that. So there's visual learners, watch the YouTube videos, that's going to work for you. There's the people who have to write in this notebook, that's going to work for you. There's listeners, the YouTube videos, that's going to work for you as well. And then this, I find, is typically the people who feel they're not good studiers and they're not good at learning or good at school, and those are the hands-on learners. This is what you do. You get yourself a whiteboard. I have a whiteboard over there. You get yourself a whiteboard, or like you can get one of the stand-up ones. I'm telling you, just do it, right? And you go through every concept, and instead of writing it in this book, you can write it in this book the first time so you kind of like understand what's going on, and then you're going to give, sorry, that was really loud. Sorry, I'm a little feisty right now. I've been working all day. I worked out, and I'm just like, and you're going to pretend you're teaching a class on the topic, right? So if I'm learning fractions, I wrote in my notebook, I know how to do it, and now I'm going to try to teach somebody how to do it. So here's a little fun fact. You guys can laugh at me because I'm like a total weirdo. I am a combination learner, so I need kind of all aspects. Like, I can learn from writing, but I gain different things from different ways of learning, so I try to do all of them. That's why I'll watch the videos and I'll write, and then I will give talks on my whiteboard. But here's my super weird thing. I have a giant monkey over there on the floor. Oh, you can't see him. Oh, he's over there. Oh. Can you see him? Hopefully you guys can see him. Okay. So now I'm a total weirdo. And I give lectures to my monkey. I'm like, hey, you want to learn this? Let's go through it. And we go through it, and it helps me. So you may feel like a crazy person, but you got to do what you got to do to understand these things. And the reason for that, and the reason I kind of use to push myself as well, is if you want to be a nurse or even like physical therapy, OT, but specifically like, in the medical field, you literally have people's lives in your hands. It's not like you're sitting in an office doing an Excel worksheet, and if you mess up, like, oh, somebody just goes in and changes it, or you go in and click redo. Like, you need to know your stuff, because there's literally people's lives in your hands. Their mothers, their fathers, their children. And that's not saying that you won't make a mistake at some point, but you need to be able. That's why nursing school or any medical school is so difficult, because they want you to know everything, because it's people's lives in your hands. I don't want to go to the hospital and have a nurse that got D's in her classes taking care of me. You know what I mean? And she could be a wonderful person, the most empathetic and caring, but if she doesn't know her meds, if she doesn't know her signs and symptoms, and she doesn't know her, like, anatomy or physiology or pharmacology or whatever, it's going to affect me as the patient. So, with the ATI Teas, this is one small step in your career in medicine, but just know that your time and energy is going to save people, and it's going to help people. But by doing that, it's like you need to know so much stuff, because you need to make those split-second decisions to save people. So with the teas, you guys can do this. You can. It's just putting in the time and energy. You are all smart and capable. And trust me, before I took this exam, I was having a heart attack. I almost, literally a couple days before, I know I talked about this in my other video, I almost didn't go. Like, I was just like, why am I doing this? Like, I have a job in healthcare. Why am I going back to school? Why am I doing this? And it's very discouraging and it's very scary to look at all this material that you need to know. But if you study it and you really just put in the time and you go through each section and make your little notebook, you will do good. And if you don't do good, you go back and take it again. You don't give up. You fight for those people that you want to help. Okay? You fight. All right, I'm getting a little goofy. So this is the end of the math section teas. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to do a grammar section teas, just because I feel like that was the section I did the weakest on. I mean, I guess I could make one and kind of give some pointers, but I feel like I'm not, like I didn't get 100 on that section, and it's kind of like, I feel like I shouldn't be giving advice on it if I didn't score like super well, But, so yeah, maybe I'll make one, maybe I won't, I'm not sure yet. But yeah, if you guys comment below, let me know the types of videos that you want to see. I'm very much into health, therapy, psych, medicine, health, like scientific studies. My background is a scientist. That's what I went to school for, was biology and health sciences. I worked in labs for many years. I now, work with psych. So, whatever it is that you guys are interested in, please let me know. I could do product videos, but I really want to give you guys some good content. So please comment below, let me know what you need, and make sure to subscribe to my channel. Okay, thanks. Bye, guys.